Thanks for joining us on Focus on South Texas. The holidays are just a few weeks away, and you know how excited children get at Christmas when they get to open up all those presents. So you can only imagine how difficult it must be for children whose parents are incarcerated. And so today we are going to talk about the new Sheriff Toy Drive that the Bexar County Sheriff's Office is hosting. And joining me is Paul Berry from the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, as well as Lieutenant Henry Reyes. He has been a detention officer in the jail for 14 years. So these guys know what they are talking about. So I think that, Henry, and I'll direct this question to you, my first thought was, why would we want to help an inmate?
I think the most important thing that we're trying to focus on is making sure that every kid has a Christmas. It's a given that if someone's in jail, it's because they've been charged with something, but their children shouldn't be the ones that suffer on Christmas Day. So our focus is making sure that on Christmas Day they have a toy to open.
And how many kids are we talking about?
We're trying to help about 500 kids as part of this program.
Wow, 500 kids who are missing either their mother or their father.
And in some cases, both.
Oh, that's true. That's true. And so, you know, I remember that the Sheriff's Office years ago used to do Stuff the Bear, and we hadn't seen that for a while, right?
Well, Sheriff Pamerlo, when she came on board, she knew that she wanted to change hearts, not only inside the Sheriff's Office, but outside the Sheriff's Office. So she came up with this idea that we're going to help the children of the incarcerated. And so we revived the Stuff the Bear program, and the Bear, which is the Bexar County Sheriff's SWAT vehicle, which is a big vehicle. We take it out to area Walmarts here, and people will go inside, buy some toys, or bring some toys that they purchase other places. And it's just been a great, great success. And the reason we do it is because every kid needs a toy at Christmas.
And for girls and boys. I mean, it's obvious in all age groups, really?
All age groups.
Right. We're helping kids from newborns up to the age of 18. The holidays are actually one of the toughest times for people in jail, not only for the inmates, but for staff too. We have to be on a heightened sense of awareness just to make sure that if they are suffering from depression or the holidays are weighing a little heavier on them because they're away from their family, that we connect them to the right services. So the detention staff is really on alert during the holiday season.
And I can only imagine as well, I mean, not everyone who is incarcerated is guilty. You have to also think about it that way. I mean, we don't know.
The important thing at the Bexar County Jail, the vast majority of the people are constitutionally not guilty. They go through the process, and a jury or a judge will decide their guilt or innocence. While they're in jail, they're just awaiting trial.
That's right. That's right.
And it's important to remember that when you have a jail, it's not about locking somebody up and throwing away the key. It's about providing programs to help them while they're there. And we have many programs to help men and women know the skills of being a parent, know the skills to get a job. While they're there, while they're awaiting trial, we do a lot of things to help them not just await their time before trial.
And I remember years ago, I did a story on the patch in the Match program. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, Match Mamas and Their Children and Patch Papas and Their Children is a program we have in the jail run through our Jail Support Services program. And it's led by volunteers and full-time employees. But our goal is to provide inmates parenting skills and classes. And if they successfully complete those classes, then they're able to have contact visits with their kids. Having volunteered in the program before, helping watch kids and change diapers, it actually opened up my eyes to a different side of the Sheriff's Office and a different role that we as public servants have.
You mentioned that it gets pretty emotional around the holidays. So even when you were doing the Patch and the Match program, I mean, what were some of the things that you saw?
You kind of take for granted your kids at home and the fact that you see them every day. So when you get to interact with a parent who's incarcerated and it's his first time seeing his kid in maybe 3 months, it gets a little tough, and it's an eye-opener. It reminds you why you're there, and a lot of the great work that the volunteers do in the department. And like I said, it just, you know, we try to refocus and regroup and ask ourselves, what's our role as public servants? We do provide public safety, making sure that the streets are safe and that everyone in jail is safe. But I think it's incumbent upon us to go above and beyond that and give back as much as we can. And this toy drive is actually making that possible.
It's important to remember that we have people who work at the jail, like Henry, who are big, strong, and they're there to do the job that they're supposed to do. But there are a lot of people like Henry who have really big hearts, who really care about the people that they're paid to protect and to serve and their families. And Henry does this throughout the year, along with his wife, who's also a detention officer at the jail. But there are many people at the sheriff's office and who work at the jail who really do care about the people of this community. They didn't join the sheriff's office to make a lot of money. They joined to serve and help people, and that's kind of what we're trying to do here.
And so the other question that I have is just kind of walk me through when somebody does become incarcerated. I know that you mentioned, you gave the example of maybe 3 months they won't see their child. Is that the standard amount of time, or what typically happens?
It varies. If they want to participate in a program like Match, Patch, or Men Making Changes, or one of the other programs we have in there, then they can submit through our Human Services section, and we screen them just to make sure that they're not a security risk. And then, so the programs are delivered throughout the year at different intervals.
And when you deliver these toys, I know that Paul, you and I were discussing, the children only know a man in a uniform like this as the bad guy because you took their mom and dad away, right?
Right.
So what are you trying to accomplish as well with this program?
Well, we're not just collecting gifts for the children of the incarcerated. We're going to give them to them at a Christmas party that they also might not be able to have. And that is being thrown by the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, all on volunteer dollars. We are going to actually have our deputies in uniform handing these presents to children. And you're right, sometimes they see these deputies, it's not the best circumstances. And this won't change those perceptions overnight. But what it will do is it will let them know that these people have good hearts, they're good people, and ultimately they'll learn that they're just doing their jobs.
Yeah, they're just doing their jobs. So let's talk about this party then. So you need the toys donated before December 1st. Okay, so at the party, what are some of the things that you have planned?
Our Human Services section is actually going to be providing different areas, different services that are available through nonprofit organizations that these families can utilize. Anything from helping their bills get paid or different services that are available through the community. But we're also going to have games. We're going to have lots of food. We're going to have a DJ. We'll have Santa Claus there handing out gifts and a bunch of deputies in uniform reconnecting with the kids and letting them know that if they need something, all they have to do is turn to somebody in uniform and we'll be there to help. One of the great things about the toys is when we wrap them, we're also going to be able to include a special note from their parents. So the kids, when they won't just get a toy, they're actually going to get a note that was written by their parents included in the package. And I think that's really important.
So you mentioned that you're trying to do this for about 500 children. I mean, this has to be a great incentive for the inmates. I mean, how do they react? Do a lot of them participate, in the Match and the Patch to try to get to the point where they can see their kids and do things like this?
Actually, we have a waiting list for this program for the men and the women, and we've actually been able to expand the program for the women by creating a specialized living unit where they can have a therapeutic community and they can focus on reentry and focus on getting the skills they need to be effective parents and hopefully stay out of the system. We're trying to reduce the recidivism rate. So inmates are aware of it, and we do have a waiting list of people getting into the program. And as soon as we have the staffing and stuff, we're going to expand this program and make it available to more inmates. Word is spreading throughout the jail, and when inmates find out about what we're doing, they're really surprised. So the response is positive. The response that we're getting from the public is great. People are coming out to Walmarts and they're handing us toys by the truckloads, which is great.
So, Lieutenant, what kind of response are you getting from the officers?
The response has been mixed, mostly positive, but we understand that one of the challenges that we have to overcome is recreating the image of a law enforcement officer, that we don't just lock them up and throw away the key, as Chief Berry said. This program, it's our first year, and it's very successful, and its success is attributed to the deputies that have been volunteering, to the cadets that are volunteering, to the reserve deputies that are volunteering, and to our civilian staff that has been volunteering every weekend to help man these sites and collect toys.
And I've had many people come up to me and say, why are we doing this for these inmates? And when you get them to not focus on the inmates, but on the children who have done nothing wrong, almost immediately you see them understand why we do this. And it's the first year, it's new, we understand there's going to be some resistance, but we anticipate this to be something that we do every year, and we hope it will grow.
That is December 1st. They've got to get everything to you by then. But what if you have some stragglers after December 1st?
Well, the good news is if we do have some extra toys, there's always plenty of need. And we have deputies who work out in the unincorporated areas of the county, and they know families that are not doing as well, too. So if something is going on and our deputies know about it, if we have some extra toys, we're going to make sure that those deputies have toys that they can deliver Christmas to those families as well.
That sounds fantastic. Well, let's go over that website one more time, bear.org/sheriff. That is where you can find the locations to drop off these brand new toys. Remember, it has to be brand new, unopened packages. And it'd be great if you could have these by December 1st and help make those 500 kids very happy for at least a little bit, during the holidays. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank you
Cynthia.
for having us.
All right, stay with us. We have more just after the break.